Let's speak to journalist Matt Hunt to find out the latest. Hello to you, Matt. Any updates on the situation there in Bangkok?
Yeah, sure. So we now know that there's been a confirmation of 10 deaths here in Bangkok as a result of the aftershocks of this earthquake in Mandalay yesterday, 8 of which came from the construction site that you mentioned, where now we know that there's about 100 people who are still trapped and search and rescue efforts are still underway there. However, that story being constant news here has generally left a sense of panic in the society that is still here and lingering. A lot of people are afraid to go home, which has caused a series of things. So the Bangkok city governor opened up all of the public parks for 24 hours a day and provided drinking water and toilet facilities where people can go and stay, and they have overnight, because they are generally afraid to go home. And also overnight, the Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, she made a public statement telling people that their buildings are safe. As long as the building is not under construction, even if there's cracks, that people can return home, but that's just not what's happening. This panic that people feel because they are not accustomed to earthquakes at all in this region is definitely deep-seated. I've spoken to many people who have left Bangkok and are not sure when to return, even though they've been told that it's safe. And this comes from a lack of emergency preparedness. The general lack of trust in this government has caused people to also now not trust to be able to go home. So.
Yeah, and the grim reality is that this death toll will likely increase both in Thailand and in Myanmar. The U.S. Geological Survey saying that, 1,000 dead at least in Myanmar. That figure is probably going to rise.
Yeah, definitely. And the reality of that situation, too, is that the military junta has controlled the information in and out of the country so tightly for the last 4 years, it still applies to now. So it's hard to really tell the exact numbers. That's why it jumped from 100 to 1,000 in one release of information. However, we know amongst journalists and human rights groups that it's very likely that the situation on the other side of the border in Myanmar is much worse than we can see right now. I would consider all of the information that we're seeing to be preliminary, but these images and photographs that are coming out on social media are horrifying. I mean, hospitals are at overcapacity. People are being treated on the streets. I've heard accounts of people being dug out of dilapidated buildings by hand. So it seems quite obvious already at this point that the situation in Myanmar is much more dire than in Thailand.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Matt Hunt reporting from Bangkok.